Hello, hello. How are we? Welcome to 2026. I can't believe it's 2026 actually. It's crazy. Oh, hope you have all had a good bit of downtime and a bit of lots of eating and laughing, and yeah. If you hear lots of noise in the background, our neighbours are certainly doing that today. Just looking for some bits and pieces that we could play with today. Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Annette. Hey, Melissa. Hi, Di. Hey, Nikki. That's awesome to have you all here. Alrighty, just get myself comfy. You can hear me obviously all right. Hey Karen, hey Shirley. Oh, look at you all. It's lovely to have you here. All right, I thought, what a great way to start the year by creating first thing today and playing with the new mood boards. Kylie's got some awesome colours coming this year, and it's very exciting to see what everyone can do in the curative collective. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. The other thing is, it's not just a colour palette. You've got lots of inspo with colours, the vibe and the techniques. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of that today. And then just, yeah, see where it goes. I've pulled out a few items that I want to play with. There's a lot of pink that's screaming at me, so I'll try and introduce a lot of the yellows and whites, yellows and oranges in some of the other colours. And I'm going to do my typical thing of using rub-ons, a little bit of mixed media, and then we'll layer with some elements like paper elements as well as some fabric. Well, we'll just see how it goes. Who have we got? Hey, Sarah. Hey, Georgia. Hey, Leanne. Wow, there's a few of you lovely ladies. Hey, Tina. Hey, Linda. Cool. So great to have you here. So the picture that I have chosen to use is this little beauty. So I thought that just screams this. And I kind of liked it because she looks a little bit like an altered Scarlett Johansson. And this is one of the Lucky Findings imagery from the Miss Pink Whistle. So that's what this image is from. I also ummed whether to use this one from the Chrysanthemum range, but it just gives me a different feel and we want to just be a bit more playful. This one goes great with the yellows, but it's a bit soft on the pinks, whereas this is bright on the pinks and we can introduce a heap of colour. So helps with that monochrome feel when you're using the shades. So what I'm going to do first is just find what I'm going to work on. So I was looking around for my canvas. I'm just going to bump the camera for a sec and just get rid of my cord. And I didn't have a canvas big enough, so I'm going to use this Perspex sheet today, something a little bit different. So hopefully you can see it. You'll definitely be able to see my camera, but we'll get some mixed media on there soon and you won't be able to see. So we'll move this away. We'll come back to this and reference our colours and the vibe and technique. So obviously we're wanting something bright and summery. I love that it's got juicy splashes, so that allows me to do lots of flicking and yeah, bits of fun. So let's see what we're going to do. I think first what we're going to do is, I pulled out some of these. So these are some of the All and Create cards. Now I'm pretty sure nearly everything I'll be using today Kylie has in the shop, and I think there might just be one mixed media product that she might not have because it's super old. or she'll have a version of it. But these are the All and Creates. Oh, so this is the 4x6s, A6 size, yeah. So you get a huge collection out of them, and they're double-sided, and they're super thick. They're really good for making tags and everything. So, yeah, I love them. And I'm just going to pick all those up off the ground so that I don't roll over them. And, yeah, you can get them in nearly A4 size. I think they're 8x10. You can get them 5x7, and then you can get 4x6. And even though they're a little bit softer, they're going to complement the picture really well. So I know we're going to start with that. But I'm just trying to think what we could do on the background, because this is super, super clear. Let me think for a minute. Maybe, have I got something here? Almost want a bit of rice paper, don't I? No, that's not. Just dig around in my stash for a minute, just talk amongst yourselves. See what I can find to complement this picture a little. I mean, I've got a big, I might just see, I mean, you could always colour it. That kind of works. Again, that's using the All and Create. I don't know where my rice papers have gone. Oh, that's a bit unfair. Maybe I've packed them somewhere in this magical mystery bus and I can't find it. So yes, you'll probably hear a lot of rummaging as I create. Okay, so it's not in there. Should have probably thought about that. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to create the background with mixed media and rub-ons. So, let's do it. I'm going to grab some modelling paste to start with, and I want to add some streaks. So let me grab an old card and just get a bit of modelling paste on here. And because I want it to be playful and a little grungy, I'm just going to create some nice and you can see it's a little thicker. Obviously you don't need it to be amazing because we're just creating our background, and that way you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Yeah, that works. So I'm just going to clean that up. So far all I've done is just add a little bit of modelling paste and just being free with that downward scraping, keeping it kind of thick in between. We're going to add plenty of layers, so I'm not too worried at the moment. Actually, while I've got this, I might actually do that to my papers as well. I don't want too much because I'll probably make tags out of this. So I'll just do it on half of it and see how it turns out. So I probably want it a little lighter like that. Okay. Because we will not need all of that sheet because I'm working quite small. And now I want to dry it. So you'll hear the horrible heat gun, or maybe not. Is there anyone playing along today? getting your creative on for the first time in 2026. So I've got to make sure that this is completely dry because I want to add rub-ons on top of it. So we're making it playful. Hey Kylie. The great thing about this Perspex or acrylic is that it doesn't get too hot and it doesn't warp. Oh, still a bit wet there. Awesome. Just has to dry a little bit more on the acrylic, but we'll get there. So while that's drying a little bit more, I'm just going to have a look at my image and now see how I want to layer it a little with these. I'm thinking I will make tags because I don't really block it together. I did find this lovely little piece too because we need colour to break up colour. And then I've got all these All and Create leaves as well. What else have I got? See, I could use some of this in behind. It actually works quite well, so I might even keep that. Does this reference the orange? It does a little bit. It's a little bit on the light pale side, so I'm not sure about that one. What else have I got here? More leaves from 49 and Market. Heaps of rub-ons. Alright, so let's just have a look at our layer first. Can you guys see this alright? It's not too dull. Let me just flip. Let that come on. That's a bit better. It's a little bit brighter. I am just going to tear the opposite way so I don't have that bold white. I really don't want that white there. Kind of like that kick coming out from there. I might just tear the top a little. Don't know how much of this I'm actually going to use yet, but maybe just a tear there. I might keep one edge white. And if I put that on there, that looks pretty good. Yeah. So this will be my background layer, okay? There was something I was thinking. I was going to get a frame. That's what I was thinking. The frame is in here. No. Too old-fashioned. What about in this one? Got to have a little bit of vintage in the vibe. Oh, what's this? This has got a little bit of yellow in it. It's a little bit little. I am terrible at mixing. Well, it's not terrible really. But I love to mix brands up. I very rarely use just one brand. I am very, very big on the old, let's just keep adding stuff from all the collections. So these are from Stamperia, or Stamperia, however you want to say it. Don't like that bit, but I like that bit. Oh. Hey Gayleen. Hey Karen. Nice to have you here. At the moment I'm just playing with layers, seeing what I want to incorporate into my little weird world. Okay, that's drying nicely, so I might see what else I've got. Oh. Okay, no, not that one. This one. Is there anything in here I could use? No. Nah, not fun enough. Like, they're fun, but you know, I want that fun, that summery pop. No, they're too demure for this, so that's okay. We'll do it with other things. Okay. Always check your clips are fastened before you move things. Come on, get in there. Okay. There we go. Crisis averted. That must have sounded very funny on the live. All right, we might make it. Right, just work on other parts. So let's have a look at what I've got in our rub-ons. So first of all, what I'm going to do actually is just have a look at how much space I actually want to take up. Now I'm going to overhang some of my elements, which I love to do. I want that off to the side like that. And I also want to be able to make it so that I can add some flowers onto my page as well. So now what I want to do I want to tear or do I want to... I'm going to create a couple of tags out of these. So I want the wood grain to go this way. So let's just cut it in half. Super random, and we want the pinky bit okay, and because we've already got so much yellow, we need the pink there. We'll do the same on this one. And again, create our own tag. Bit of playing around. Okay, so now I might want a skinnier tag, again using that pinkier side. Move out the way for a minute. So this is my usual go-to method when creating. Lots of just holding down in place. And then I want to go I'm liking it with that bit of white. I might stack that one behind. So that's working. So I think we've got our basis for what's going behind. So now I know where it's going to sit, and I can start playing around with other things that I'm going to tuck behind, focusing on our background and still sticking to the color palette. So I'm going to introduce the oranges in with some rub-ons, and I'm going to add a little bit of black and white as we go. So I'll put these aside for another day. Shove my mess off the page for now, so we don't need that. Now I'm going to get my stapler, and because I'm quite happy with how that looks at the moment, I'm going to remove these, and holding it carefully, I'm going to add a couple of cheeky staples so that nothing moves. Okay, this one can be loose. These two sat in about like that. Staple them. So now I've got my two base elements and our image. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab a little bit more heat on here. Just because I noticed a couple of little spots are still a bit damp. That's just because I'm playing on acrylic. Normally it dries super quick. Now if you want to try playing with acrylic, Faye just said how she liked my containers. Thanks, they are a Kmart bargain. Good old Amanda put me onto them. And these are also from Kmart. They're awesome. They come in a pack of 2 or 3. And then they also come with like these little holders, so you can then display your art. It's super cool. So yeah, and it doesn't cost very much because, you know, it's Kmart. Okay, so paper elements off to the side. Let's focus on our background. Now I've got this cool new 49 and Marker Flower Emporium collection. I've got some All and Create. I got some random black and white script, which is always great because that's instead of me grabbing some stamps. Some butterflies, because you can't have a page without butterflies. These give a little bit of drama. There's also this rub-on transfer. I'm not sure I'll use that, but then it's got also these orange and yellow bits, so I'm not sure. And then just to add to a bit of fun, I've got this other All and Create. What was this one? Oh yeah, this is part of the Willow Grove as well. And it's got mushrooms with yellow on it. How could I say no to that? Like, it's super cool. And then so are the butterflies. So there might be a little something. And that's got a nice little pink. So now I've got to work out which ones I want without overloading this. So if I grab my basic composition here, okay, so tuck that in. Lost a little piece, but that's okay, I'll grab that in a minute. We've got that basic idea. So I know that I want this mushroom. But I'm going to have to add some colour first. But I'm going to pull out the elements first because, well, that way it's a reminder that I want to use these. So that's my pink and my yellow. All right. Is there anything else on here I want to use at the moment? No. So that goes with this. What's in this one here? Is there anything left in this pack? Just the blue. Is there any orange? No, red. Okay, so that one's no good. Let's move that one away. Okay, let's see what we've got in this little mess. This might have some orange that we can use. Yes. Let's just check back with our mood board. So this has got all the shades of our oranges that we could use. So some of these work good, and then there's some bigger ones. So I did what with the scissors? Can anyone see my scissors? Here they are. Okay, so I want maybe these 4. And then I might go, oh, let's just bring this back. These 3 here. I may not end up using these, but I always just cut out what I think I want to use. There's a few pink and oranges here that I had left over, so I'm going to use them. But I'm going to stop with the yellow at the minute. So I don't want too much yellow. We'll come back to that. Now, all in Create. There is this one here, but I think it's got a little bit of blue. I wonder if it would matter. Might be too soft on that. Maybe I'll just pick out sections of this one when we go to do it, because that is a good colouring. It matches that fun, fresh vibe. So sadly you get to see my thought process. It's a bit of a messy journey at the moment. Okay, this one's nice and bright. So we have got, yes, those orange spots will go. This I'm loving, so we will want one of these. Okay, oh, wrong pile. Don't really want any of those words necessarily, but maybe this pink circle to complement. What have we got on here? So we've got the pink with the stars is kind of cool. That makes it fun, doesn't it? Fun and bright. And maybe these. So I always cut my rub-ons out. They're blue. Just so that then I'm not going to accidentally rub something off that I don't want. All right. And then I've got my black and whites and my butterflies for after. Okay. So let the fun begin now. I need a pop stick. Oops, sorry about that, bumping you. My chair keeps rolling away from me. All right, we can always grab these again if need. Now, Kylie has an amazing assortment of rub-ons, as you probably all know. So yeah, make sure that you check out the store and grab yourselves some fun. Okay, so I'm using that at the moment. All right, so we've got this really big one here. So it needs to be tucked in under. So I'm feeling like it needs to go about there because I love that circle. Try not to use the blue and the purple on there. All right. So I'm now just going to press down and really hope that this one I'm going to have to rub a little harder. Just because it's got mixed media underneath, and sometimes the All in Creates don't like paint. But I'm not too worried if it's a little bit rough. It adds to the background, the grunginess that I want to bring into it. It's looking pretty good. Just get this circle. So yeah, sometimes with the All in Create and mixed media, you do need to use a fair bit of pressure. but it's looking pretty good. It's transferred quite well. So you can see I've got a little bit extra on here. So I might just bring it over to the edge and just rub a little bit extra off. And again, just transferring some of what's the residual to create some interest on other parts of our project. Okay, let's bring our focal image back so we get that idea again of where we are wanting to place our project. And I'm really loving this here, so remembering that I want to keep things as a main visual too. So a bit of orange. We need to introduce orange, don't we? We've got yellow, we've got the pink. I actually feel like it's too thick. Oh, maybe there. Now, being a 49 and market, this should peel off quite well. It seems to work a lot better on a bit of mixed media. Don't get me wrong, I love, love, love the rub-ons from All and Create, but they just don't love mixed media as much. There we go. We've got a little spot. Maybe we'll do half. And then just slippy, wrap that around. And then I usually just use my finger to just make sure that it's pressed down. And again, bring in our collection. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just sit on that for just a sec, just so I can get an idea of where I want other things. Might introduce this one up here. I usually have a better rubbing stick than this, but I don't know what I've done with it. Since I taught a class, when was it, last weekend? Our end of year at work, we did a little crafting session and I taught a class to them, which was pretty fun. Now, I feel like we need a bit of pink in here. Great thing is I've got a video and I can, like, on the screen that you're watching, I can actually see what it looks like before I go in with it, which is kind of cool. So what I want to do is I actually just want a little bit. So I'm just going to curl my rub on a little bit so that then it breaks, because I don't want the whole structure, because it's going to get hidden, and that way, yeah, I can repeat it somewhere else. So maybe I'll put a little bit here. Does it need more? You know what? Let's just go for it down here. Sometimes overthinking is not good. Okay, placing my elements there again. Yeah, it needed that. Oh, yes, it would, Kylie, absolutely. I forgot about this. Yes, I'm going to have to get myself some of them. Kylie just mentioned that the Scrapping Clearly acrylic albums would be great for this. So yes, they would be. They would be ideal. So basically what I'm doing today is just making my own background and playing with different rub-ons, using up what I've also got in my stash. but I don't want everything covered up, okay? Even though I say that as I'm covering things up. Okay. Now, remembering I want to use my big focal points in the rub-ons. So bring this back here. That would actually look pretty cool there. And the mushrooms could go up here. Yes, we lose a little, but it would look cool, I think. So first of all, let's place this where we want it. Tucking in. We could tuck in to there. And then this one, we'd only have to tuck in to there. Okay, remove these. Whoop. Okay, beautiful. And then our mushrooms. Okay, and just fold that down. I'm going to use these words over here to complement that bit of pink we've put over here. All right, how are we looking? So that was going to sit about there. And they sit about there. Maybe just over a little like that. I'm going to have to go online and get myself some of those albums. All right, I'm actually really, really happy with how this is so far. But I want to keep adding texture. So I need more orange. So might put one of these here. Maybe I'll put these two here, or maybe one of them. I'm not join it up completely. Okay, that works. And maybe those pink ones. Just peeks through. All right, let's leave that alone. I want to introduce a stencil for the minute. So, stencil, what would go good with this? Because I want to do mark making, right? Because when we look at our technique, it's got a couple of different things. It's got gel prints, so we're obviously not doing that this time. Bold mark making and stencil work. So mark making and stencil can often go well together. So I want to find a stencil that is a bit of fun. And maybe one that I don't use all the time. We always have our favourites, don't we? Something a little bit fresh, but not too full on, because we don't want to take away too much of our background. So I'm just rummaging through my stencils. See, that one would be kind of fun and complement the stencils without it being too overpowering. That one's a bit big. So is that. This one's a bit of fun too, but I'm kind of going with that rustic vintage look as well. So I don't want to bring too much modern, but at the same time keep it modern. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm saying. Too funny. That one would work, but it's pretty bold. This is quite a dilemma, isn't it, when you're looking for stencils? It's like you sort of have something in mind and then you realise that you probably don't actually even own one. So then you've got to go and buy more stencils because you needed it for that last project and then you probably don't use it again. And I have so many stencils, it's crazy. And then I get overwhelmed with which one. Maybe I should just stick with those. Okay, let's have a little look what these might look like. Actually look kind of fun, wouldn't it? Let's pop this back here. Okay, so this is where we want it. This one here, do you know what? It might work a little. So would that one, really. Let's get some paint. I've got hardly any of that left. But do I want pink? What's sort of missing? We've got orange balance now. We do need to add a little bit of pink and we need to add a little bit of that yellow. So that lemon sherbet, orange fizz, watermelon. I don't want to add white again yet because we've still got a fair bit of white showing at the moment. So that might be a bit bright. Lemon zest, lemon sherbet. Okay, let's use this. Oh, bumped the camera again. Sorry. Let's okay. Bit of the old spongy sponge. Whoa, that was a bit much. Looks a bit insipid too. Alright, that will work. This bit makes me a bit nervous. Okay. We don't have to do a lot. I might just practice where it's going to get hidden. Oh no, that works quite okay. So, probably only might do it so it's off the page a little. And then just bring it down. Oh, look at that. It's quite fun making your own backgrounds. I do love a good rice paper. I might try and do more lives this year for Kylie, for the Scrapping Clearly Facebook page, because it's actually, what do you reckon, Kylie? Should do one once a month for the new theme? Or do you reckon everyone will get sick of me? Or let someone else do it? All right, so now I'm going to go in with a bit of pink, this time with a different stencil. But I'm going to go in that same sort of vicinity, maybe even overlap it. Yeah. Okay, a bit more pink. Bit more pink. Maybe even down here in our little corner, going off the acrylic. Yeah, like that. maybe a different shape one just in here. Don't want too much. All right, let's see what that looks like. Let's bring our clusters back. Yeah, that works. That works. Oh, you're also lovely. Thanks, Karen, Diane, and Wendy. All right, that's working. Hey. I now need to introduce some black, okay, because it's starting to feel very colourful for me. So I need to now clean up a little. Quite like that stencil. That one's pretty cool. Do like that. That one smudged a little bit, but that yellow's gone a bit weird though, so not sure about that. Where's my baby wipe? Baby wipe. Come on, baby wipe. All right. It is looking very, very bright, isn't it? A little bit of me is starting to panic. So that's okay. We're gonna bring it back. I'll just make sure all this paint is dry. Okay. So a little bit of scripty script instead of stampy stamp. Let's just cut a section out of this. Okay, it's a good way of using up your rub-ons, that's for sure. All right, so let's bring this back again to our location. It will go down eventually, but not just yet. Okay. Whoops. Let's cut this up into fragments. This is very true, Tessa. Absolutely. And that's what this colour palette is all about. Okay. Let's make this look interesting, shall we? So, bit of script wouldn't go too bad just here. So again, I'm just using a portion of my rub-on, okay, and I'm just going to keep repeating this process until I'm happy with the amount of black. So you could stamp, definitely, instead of using rub-ons, but today I wanted to focus on using up some rub-ons that, well, I've just got a lot of rub-ons because I'm a bit of a rub-on fiend, and it also is so cool to make backgrounds with. I mean, who doesn't like making their own background? Can't say you're copied when you make your own background, because it never ever works out exactly. Isn't that true? Yeah, see, black starts to come back a little. Yes, this will be going on YouTube, so I'll put it on the Scrapping Clearly YouTube, and I'll put it on my own as well. So there'll be two locations that you can find it, but hit up the Scrapping Clearly one first, because that's where you'll find it first. And because I'm really not happy with this little bit, I'm not sure what to do with it yet. So again, just bring this in for referencing. This corner, because we've already added a heap of stuff, it doesn't hurt to add more. And as you can see, it starts to just feel more cohesive. I might put a little bit just in here with our mushrooms to make sure that they're not just standing out on their own. Okay, that might be enough. Yep, that's enough for that. All right. Now what I'm going to do is going to maybe something I shouldn't do. Just going to get rid of these out of my way. I'm just going to reintroduce a little bit of white again, just into some sections here, just really thin like we did on our paper. So I'm going to grab that modelling paste again and my old card. Now I don't want a lot, so what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit down over it so it's not so stark, but I don't really want to detract it too much from, like, I want it to still be there, but I want it to look like it's sort of underneath what we've already have there. Does that make sense? So you can see it's only a little bit, and it's just sort of softening and whitening up some of the areas we've already put in, like up here. But it's sort of going over some of the rub-ons as well. There we go. That's all it needs. So if I bring that up a little bit closer, so you can see here that I've just added a little bit because I wasn't happy with that, but now that it's got a little covering, it's like it's hidden behind it. I've brought in some across onto the pink, just a really small amount, reintroduced a little bit in here. Let's just smudge that out. Down the bottom here, also, I've just reintroduced a layer on top. Again, just a small layer, including over that, but you can still see the colour coming through. And then a little bit over here in this corner with our mushrooms, and in that top corner there over our layers of rub-ons. So it just makes it sort of look more dimensional. It's not all just one layer. You've now got extra layers on top. It might not show up so much on screen, but that's the look I was hoping to get in that background. Okay. Now I'm going to give it a dry, and I am going to start adding our paper elements to it. Okay, so give it a quick dry. It shouldn't take much because it would be a fairly thin coat. All right, so that little corner likes to play up. Putting a little bit of the gesso or the modelling paste on top actually helps your rub-ons stay down as well. Normally I will always do a coat of clear, but because I'm working on the acetate, I don't want to smoke up the clear sections of it, because when you put down a layer of gesso, it's obviously adding some tooth to your project. And we don't really want that film look on here. You still want to be able to, you know, move it and see through, especially if it's going to stand as a feature, which, you know, I probably will. So you want to be able to see that transparency through it. Does that make sense? Okay, let's bring our paper elements in. Now I'm going to sit down. And I'm going to bring in, what am I going to bring? Distress. So I need my old scissors. And I feel like we need a little bit of black, I think, to distress the edges, because everything is so bright. So let's just tone down this a little bit. So with my scissors, I am going to distress my edges just roughly in the areas that obviously we can see. Doing it quite quickly. I'm probably not going to worry about this one, but I will do the one underneath. I'll just tear that up a little bit, and in here probably won't ink that main layer, just because don't need to. Looks good on its own. And then we've got these couple. So when I staple my paper elements, I don't staple heavily, like I've got one staple to hold them together, because that way you can still distress. You don't have to distress all your paper elements before you put them together, because this way it makes everything curl up and it just looks funky. Okay, so this little beauty as well, I'm going to just rough the edges up a little bit. And I'm going to also just scratch some lines into the image a little. Just tear it. Okay, that just adds some interest and vulnerability to our image as well. Okay, bit of ink, blending tool. All right, so I'm just going to lightly add a bit of ink. I still want a little bit of that white to show through, so I'm just sort of being quite not fussy is the best way I can put it. And the quicker the better, because otherwise you get a really heavy amount, and we don't want that. We just want a little bit to just touch. And this I want even less. Okay. Okay. All right. Foam tape. Actually, I might use some. Oh, where have I put it? I might use some box board for this. There we go. Oh, that's not very thick. Where's all my box board gone? Maybe it's in my cupboard. No, foam tape it is today. Oh, actually, I've got these little canvas wood pieces. I might use that. Always comes in handy. Okay, so we want this main piece. We want some good glue, good mixed media glue. I use 450. I know Kylie's got some awesome glues in the shop. I don't know if she has 450, but 450 is great when you are using on mixed media. Ooh, upside down, Miss Jane. Making sure that this one is sitting in the space we want. So I know that I want to line this one up here and just on the edge of the mushrooms, because then we got these little beauties that are going to come in. So these here, I'm not going to foam up, but do the cheeky pull up and under so that it's sitting on there. And I need to bring it over just a smidge. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. And then for my image, I too want one of these because we're still going to tuck. Yeah, I'll go this way. Still going to tuck things in. We are not finished yet. Okay, so we're going to pop that down, making sure that lines up exactly where we want it. And we can always reinforce after where we know there's going to be other elements poking out. And you can see that this is flopping down here, so we might want to pop another one in after, if it allows. Or maybe we'll do it now, actually. No, we won't, Emma, because you still have things you want to do. So I've got this beautiful piece of lace, okay? This is from a 49 and collection. I think it was, oh, I can't remember, to be honest. Now, this is where I bring back that bit of vintage for me. But where I want to put it is the question. So this is also why I don't spend a lot of time stapling too much, because you can't play around like this. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to the edge, because that's all I'm going to stick it down with. And I thought it looked best over here. That overhanging there, I thought looked soft and nice. So I probably don't need any more of that, so that can go back in my stash as well. All right. Keep thinking, thinking. All right. Do we want a little bug? Oh, a little bug would be kind of cute, especially on the leaves. Got a couple of little bugs. We have got a little pop of yellow. I have got this is when the brain really starts to tick. Which is pretty funny. I don't want anything too heavy. Looks like all my oranges are quite big and bulky, whereas this one's good. These are original 49er markets too. So if we were to layer that on top of there. Oh yeah, I like that very much. So I'm going to glue that one in. Okay. Slide it in to where I want it. I want it a little bit overhanging like so, or do I want it in? No, I'll put it a little bit overhanging like that. And then the question is, do we want one down here as well? Maybe if I cut it. See, I'm kind of feeling that as well, but that can go flat on our acrylic. Tuck that up. You can see there's a big gap here, but that's all right. We will get that going again. So now you can see I've just added a couple of pieces of that film. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to see what a piece of this looks like tucked in behind it. I want it tucked in more. And I want it on the flat. Maybe I'll just sit it there for a minute. Kind of like it. And maybe one here overhanging as well. Okay, yep, gonna use it. Yep. Now when I tuck quite tight. I like it to be in where I am. I still want to be able to see all my pretties. So using things like this film tape is really good because you can still see through it and it's not hiding everything that you've already put down. Okay, so this one here I have to get a little bit clever with because that piece of wood is right there. Okay. Coolies. Liking that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of transparency on our transparency. So we can pack those up. Now, leafage. Bit of foliage we need now. This one is awesome because it's got the pinks and the oranges already. Don't want any green and I don't want any blue, so this one here is cool. I always like to tear and then I bend my flowers in. So again, you can see it's going to go with our colour palette. Okay, and this is where I start to bring in those little elements. So we've got a couple of little, I don't often use the leaves, actually I might just dab that with a little bit of black. Very rarely do I use it as a full cluster. I quite like leaving them off their stem. Whoa. And I'll just use that as a, so I've just got to hold that up. I'm going to just quickly pull this out while it's wet and just add some black. Bend it a little bit more. That hides my staple, see, because I stapled a little bit too high. Now I'm going to come back to the foliage in a minute because now I want to add something to my clusters in here. So I do have some cool pieces from Lucky Findings. I've got some cute little polka dot pieces that I can always tuck in and under like so. You know what, that looks great like that, so I'm just going to chuck that in there like that. Sometimes it just works for you. You watch it not go in now. So just adding a bit of glue and shoving it in there. Beautiful. Coolies. Oh, that worked well. Okay, so flowers. Where did I put them? Haven't got my flowers out for a long time. Where did I put you, flowers? Here you are. Another box. So, if we're looking at our January mood board, obviously we've got the colour palette, okay. Shades of colours were all right. Vibe, hot, summer, fruity, bright, juicy splashes. Okay, so it's not screaming summer, but it's bright, and we will have some juicy splashes very soon. Technique, we didn't do the gel, but we did some bold mark making, as well as, you know, we did bold mark making even with the rub-ons, and we did some stencil work as well. So we've pretty much covered our January colour palette, but we're not finished. So we're still adding, so there's some nice pinky flowers. Maybe we need a summery flower, so maybe we need like a nice big bright, sorry about the crunching, scrunching sounds. Okay, what do we got here? Maybe it needs a nice big yellow daisy tucked in under there. Oh, hello. Hello. Well, that suddenly makes it a little bit different, doesn't it? But then it covers that. But that's okay, because maybe it needs that. It needs that big pop of colour, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to tuck this little beauty in up and under. And I really quite like that one there too. So that one is going to go in there. Come on, glue. That's it. So tuck that in under there. Peeking out. So now that's holding up this end. It's just helping reinforce it a little bit. What do we got? We've got another little flower. Ooh, tuck it in too far. No, don't like that one. It's too big. We need something littler. These are just 49er Market flowers as well. Let's see what this little one looks like. It's probably a bit too much green. Although it looks kind of nice like that. Let's give it a good squirt of glue. Lift up that flower and tuck it right in and make it line up against there. That looks all right. That's a bit cute. Now we need another little pink. We've got orange too, haven't we? Okay. These are all a bit big. That orange is wrong. Wrong. Maybe it needs a little white one down here. What have we got here? So often I buy flowers and they're in a cluster like this, and then I pull it all apart. So I'm mean like that. Because I'm not a card maker or anything like that, I tend to feel like I don't need flowers all in a stem like that. And that's why I pull it all apart. Just going to hold that up for a minute. Kind of not minding that. I might put it there. Just tuck it in as far as I can go because I don't want too much of that green showing. Yeah. Now obviously we've got a big gap here, but that's okay because we can fill that. Yeah. Happy with that. All right. We got quotes and a few more bits and pieces. Now we can add more foliage. Now that I've got the flowers where they need to be, I can add more foliage. or leaves anyway. Okay, move them out of the way. So I could add this in there. No, it's a bit bulky. Okay, so back to some leaves. What else have I got? I've got these nice bright ones from All and Create. But do they have them in the right colours? I might have to pull them out. Look at that. I've got a nice big bright pink. And then we can be tonal and have another pink. They've got an orange. Hello. Okay. What else have they got? Another orange. A yellow. This is not feeling summery. I know it's feeling more autumn. Okay. Let's see where we can place these to make it feel a little bit more fresh. Maybe we won't worry about the orange in the leaves because that does tend to make it look a little on the autumn side. Okay, that one looks pretty good in there. Bit of glue, lift and push in. Still want to be able to see that black, but now that yellow pops out on that. Maybe it needs a nice bright one underneath here. Maybe it needs an orange one. Okay, let's tuck you in this corner here, but tuck you right in. So you can still see the corner of there. And I actually think this yellow one would look great next to you. And again, tucking you right in. So do we need another colour in here? Feels a bit bare there, but I don't like that. Oh, hello little critter. Kind of like you there. All right. Maybe that'll be it for there. Now, let's get some paint out. Move these out of the way. Put them back in its drawer. Buggies. Buggies. All right, let's paint them in. Suggestions? What colour shall we paint the bugs? If I'm going to tuck one in here and one on there with my quote. I mean, he's a bit hidden there, isn't he? It's a bit of a waste. Kind of really like him on the page like that. And maybe this little fella has to be in there like that. Kind of liking that. But what colours do they need to be? I want them to blend in now. What a quandary. Let's bring back the mood board and have a little look. Kind of feeling like it needs to be on the, this one needs to probably be on the yellow side and this one needs to be on the orange side. So I have got an old Seth Apter Eyes Ink paint. I'll just see if it sticks to it. Oh, it does. Nice, because I've got a little idea and see if it will work. So I'm going to paint this little guy up. Okay, that's painting that quite nicely. That reminds me, I need to paint my toenails, but not with this. Okay, that paints beautifully on these. So these are from a Finnabar mold, one of her new releases. That is a really nice orange. Just gets hard to paint when you got fingers. How are we going with your own creations? I hope you're having a good New Year's Day. Okay, so that's painted up beautifully. I'll let that dry for a minute, and now I'm going to paint that little critter with an eyes ink in yellow. No, not really going to help, is it? Okay, so that's him painted, or her. All right, I'm going to dry them. Nice, Rocks. That's awesome. Now, wax. Good old wax. Pull these out because I haven't played with these for a little while. And I want something light. So I might go a silver. No, that'll be too heavy. Maybe I'll go vintage silk. Yeah, white gold's too dirty. Oh, that box smells delicious. It might be a bit. Let's try it. It gives it a shine, but you can't really see it. It must be used for a black. You know what we need? We just need a little bit of white paint, I think. Yeah, I'm going to use just a little bit of white gesso. That's it. It's just to soften it and highlight some of that texture that's in the mold. Okay. That's good. So if we wanted to make them shiny, we can add stuff to it after, like some glossy accents or something. So we can do that after. But I'm going to stick these down now. So this little guy was going to go right in here. Oh, that was a lot of glue, Em. That's all right. Clean that off. Okay, that'll dry clear anyway. And then this little guy, it's going to go on our image. Might just pull you out a little. So you're going to go there. We're not finished with him yet. So I want to try. Mind you, he looks pretty good there. Kind of liking him very much. Put this away. Okay, what was I thinking? Is there a little butterfly we can add to him? A little butterfly. There is. Watch this fail. So I probably should have done it when he was flat. So let's good. No. Okay. Put it there, we'll put it there. Let's put it there. Oh, hello. Now we'll just push it in to shape it. Beautiful. So now we've got a little butterfly on our little bug. So I'm just making sure he's stuck in there. Okay. So that looks pretty cute. Okay. So we've got our butterfly element on there. Now, I do feel like he needs to just shine a little bit. So, I'm determined to find a wax that will work. Maybe there's the pink. Haha. Little pink wax. These are old. Don't think I've got it in a tube. Shabby pink. That might be too bright. Oh, look what I just know. That's a matte. I got excited and then no. I don't want anything matte. All right, let's try a little bit of this sweet rose. Okay, let's delicately just highlight him. Just that little pop of translucent pink on him has made him look like a little beauty. I don't know if that's picking up in the camera, but he's just got this beautiful shine on him now, like on his body, and it's helped blend in that butterfly as well. So I'm going to just do that to this little guy as well. Just pull those leaves back, just get his head. Here we go. I found a wax that worked. Look at that. I was determined and I succeeded. what is your definition of a mood board, and then how do you store or display them? Okay, my definition of a mood board is a colour scheme that helps inspire you to get creative and pull out any product that is in that colour board, basically. So like we've got this one, we've got these beautiful colours here, and it helps you then define your project with that colour scheme. This one has additional ideas on it, so it gives you more of what colours you might have in your, you know, what you have in your stash. So then you can accommodate to those general colours. But yeah, a mood board is something that inspires you either by colour or by theme, by pattern even. I've done pattern mood boards. So it's basically open into your own interpretation. So like this one here, it was hot summer, but I haven't gone with that hot summer feel because I wanted to keep it still true to me. But I've really focused on the colours of the mood. And then that's what generates your project to follow that mood board. And then I store all these. Are you talking about the actual mood boards or what I've created with them? These I file and I keep them on file because sometimes I need a point of reference. Then I create the projects. Sometimes I've been known to write on the back that it was from a Scrapping Clearly mood board or whatever on the back of them, so I remember. But I sell some of my artwork, or I will keep it and just enjoy seeing it for a month or so until I make the next mood board, and then it goes into a beautiful box in the garage. But I'm not sure if that's helped you at all, Sandra, but maybe somebody else can also help define what a mood board is, because yeah, it's really open into your interpretation of what you think you can create out of that picture, basically, or out of those colours. Alrighty, so I want to just now bring in something for this gap. We're on the last little home stretch here. Hubby's just brought me a drink, so I'm going to have some of that. I want a quote. And I want a white quote. But these are often too big. Too big. And it's got to sort of have that capture of what we've created. And being the first one of 2026. Sometimes it's this that takes the longest thing. No. Oh, what's this shape? All right, maybe I'll have it in this. Art is freedom. Oh, that one might be a good one. All right, I'll just sit that there for a minute, just so I get an idea while I think about what I'm going to do here. I am going to add some good old muslin. I think it was Tracy Thorne that said to me, it's the spack filler of scrapbookers or paper crafters, and I have loved that idea so much. I think it's such a great way of summing up what the cheesecloth or muslin is. I just love that concept. So it's also, yeah, it's a great filler. And I love creating strands. Okay, so that is going to beautifully fill in that gap without taking away too much. So I'm going to squirt me some glue in here very carefully because we're on transparency and we don't want to have it go everywhere. And then with my scissors, gonna just wiggle that in, tease it out the bottom and the top. Look at that, perfecto. So now we don't have any big gap hanging in there. We've also got a little bit hanging at the bottom and out the top. So that's worked pretty good. So now I'm on to my quote. So we need something that is going to sort of make it the positivity for today and the start of the year. So maybe, It's always hard, isn't it, choosing a quote? Oh, express without apology. Kind of liking that. Your life is your art. I like that too. Maybe we'll have to go, anything jumping out at you guys in this lot of quotes that we could pop here. Do you know what? I'm going to put create your piece. Yes. Because a lot of times creating is exactly that. I'm going to add a little bit of black just to the top. Is that going to fit there? Yeah, perfect. And I am going to dab a bit of the old Art by Marlene in. Come on, little bugger. All right. Create your piece. Beautiful. Excellent. Quote done. Now we need to add our splatters. So this is something I love to do. Now we could go white, we could go colour, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some black because there's black in this mood board, look. And all the writing's black. So I'm going to go black, but I'm also going to probably add a couple of these paints in there as well that will complement. So I've got to find my black ink. Okay. Oh, this is almost out. Okay. I'm going to water that down. So obviously we don't want too much black, but it is a really good neutral. And I'm going to use a fine brush to do it, because like I said, I don't want it to be too heavy. Now, I will err on the side of caution, and I will just cover her face a little, because I really don't want a black blob on there. Okay, so we want, what did it say? Juicy splashes. So we want thick splashes. Juicy. Okay. Might just tap a little bit onto my image as well. and my background, because that ties it all into the background, so it's not just looking like something that's popped onto the page. But I'm liking those splatters. Okay, so while we've got that out, I'm going to add a little bit of pink. Come on. Okay, water that down just a smidge. It's already pretty watery. This one I'm going to use a little bit bigger brush, my favorite brush. And because it's a lighter pink, I can go in a little bit heavier. So what's cool about this is that you can, when it's a lighter colour, it allows you to go onto the acetate or the acrylic and it will pop through a little bit. And I think it will need a little bit more yellow. Okay, and again, using my larger brush for this one. Yeah, because that adds fine, more fine splatters. And I'm going to splatter more of the yellow. So we got our nice big juicy splatters from the black, and then we got their fine in the pink and the yellow. Cool. And that, everyone, is it. Yay! I love her. What do you reckon? Let me know your thoughts. Maybe just the nice ones. But it was so much fun to join today and have a play for the first day of 2026. So, yes, I hope it's inspired you a little to get behind this month's mood board. I might pop back again next month for another live and do the February one. So, yeah, hopefully it's inspired you a little. And there's all of January to try out these awesome colours, or if you just want to try something new like the gel prints, like it would be cool just to make some ATCs and get practicing on good old gel prints. Like, I haven't done that for ages. So you can also mix this up and put it into an art journal. So you'll probably see something like that from me coming up this month as well as part of the team. So yeah, I'm looking forward to traveling with you guys in this creative journey this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks, Kylie, for letting me have free reign this morning. And this will be up for probably this month, but then it will disappear. So I will make sure it's on YouTube later today as well. Thank you everyone for joining me. It was lovely to have your company, and I'll put up some pictures as well in a little while of it finished, so you can see it in a bit better light as well. Thanks everyone, and thank you for all your kind words and your company. Have an awesome day, everyone, and I hope 2026 is kind to you all. See you, everyone. Bye.